Hey, what's going on guys? Welcome back to another unit review video. In this video we're going to take a look at our brand new legendary hero, Fell Vessel Robin. I'm going to review her default stats and skills, then at the very end I'll share some build ideas. If you have any questions about anything, feel free to ask them in the comments below. At max level she has 40 HP, 32 attack, 35 speed, 30 defense, and 25 resistance. Now I would say these are pretty normal stats. They aren't over the top, inflated, or anything. Everything is normal. Her stat spread is quite similar to New Year's Camilla's, which is a good thing because Camilla does have a pretty nice stat spread. 75 total physical bulk is on the higher side and 65 magical bulk is about average. But then you add on the 35 speed, then you'll find out that her survivability is actually pretty good because she has the potential to prevent many doubles. Even though she's colorless and doesn't have any weapon disadvantages, she's a dragon flyer, and that means she is naturally weak to falchions, bows, Naga, and Raven tomes. So she has a lot of weaknesses, but I'll talk more about that when we get to her skills. Her weapon is Expiration. It's the same as Male Robin's if you're familiar with his. It's basically a unique lightning breath that has more might and doesn't have the special cooldown penalty effect. When she fights an enemy that can attack from 2 spaces, aka ranged units, she's always going to hit the lower defensive stat, which is amazing against mages because mages usually have the most lopsided defensive stats. Their res is usually like 2 times higher than their defense. And now keep in mind that this effect also works on the player phase when she initiates on a ranged foe. So if you ever happen to go against a Julia or a Deirdre, you can always just use Robin to one-run KO them on the player phase. Special is Bonfire. It's okay on her. She has 30 base defense, so Bonfire hits for 15 and more with defensive buffs. If your Robin is minus defense, then I would probably swap it out for Moonbow, Glimmer, Luna, or even Draconic Aura. It depends on the boon and the rest of the stats. Okay, so her unique A skill is Dragon Skin, neutralizes effective flying bonuses, grants defense resistance +4 during combat if foe initiates combat. So it's basically Iote Shield and Bracing Stance 2, which isn't released yet, combined into one skill. It's a very useful skill for her considering that she has so many weaknesses due to her archetype. So with this skill, she is no longer weak to bows and Merrick's Excalibur. Do note that this does not eliminate her weakness to falchions or Naga. The defensive stats that it grants her is also very useful as it increases her mixed bulk, which allows her to become a better enemy phase baiter. It'll allow her to bait both mages and archers more effectively, and of course it also helps versus physical melee units and Dragonstone users, so it's just all around a great defensive skill. Dragon Skin also costs 300 SP, which is the same as distant counter and close counter, so that's pretty nice for arena scoring. B skill is Cancel Affinity. She's colorless, so this skill is only useful versus Raven Tome Triangle Depth mages. If I recall correctly, Raven Tome weapons themselves are not negated by Cancel Affinity. The mage has to have both Raven Tome and the Triangle Depth skill, which makes sense since the effect specifically mentions skills and not weapons. But sometimes weapons are referred to as skills, so yeah. You should definitely swap this skill out. Raven Tome mages aren't that common in arena. There's very few instances where you might equip this skill for grand hero battles or something. C skill is Res Smoke, probably the worst smoke skill out of the 4. Just like Defense Smoke, Res Smoke requires more setup compared to Attack or Speed Smoke. If you build a team around it and use it correctly, then it can definitely be a very strong skill. Otherwise, it's kind of meh. So colorless Dragon Flyer, new archetype, our first colorless dragon ever. She can fit into many different teams, whether it's Flower Emblem, Dragon Emblem, or Mixed Emblem. If you don't have access to home dragons or fortified dragons, then you can always just put her on a flyer team with flyer buffs. She has a distant counter personal weapon and a personal A-slot skill that synergizes with it. Her whole set is pretty solid overall, but there are better skills that you can give her in some of the slots. Key boons and banes, go for plus speed. That's going to be her best boon since it increases her offensive and defensive capabilities. Plus attack or defense is fine, but it's not as good as plus speed. Plus resistance is a super boon. That's something to look for as well if you want to balance out her defensive bulk. Best bane is definitely HP. Here's her budget set. It's her default set with reposition or either close defense 3, distant defense 3, or quicker post 3 in the seal slot. You can also just give her a quicker post in the B slot and use distant defense or close defense in the seal slot. With this set, you're going to use her mainly as an enemy phase baiter. C slot is flexible, you can swap it out for team buffs. Special depends on IVs, but Bonfire is okay if she has neutral or plus defense IVs. Her most common set is probably this. C slot is flexible. She's fast enough to prevent double, so with a 3-charge special, she might be able to one-round KO enemies in just 2 hits, then save the special for the following player phase to blow up a different enemy. Buffs are going to be very important for that. With a 2-charge special, she will proc the special every second hit, so it's better for 1-round KOing. Last set is a Vantage set. I probably won't recommend this, but it does work. This set works a lot better with Fury than Dragon Skins, especially if she's plus speed. Because of her high speed, with this set, she can do pretty well on both phases. With Bonfire equipped, she can 1-round KO someone on the player phase and have both Vantage and Bonfire ready to activate on the following enemy phase. You can't really get too creative with her build since Flyers and Dragons can't inherit some of the most powerful skills. Plus she has a unique A-slot skill, and I think you should be focused on building around that rather than replacing it. Anyway, she's a strong unit but not too strong. If she was a colorless armor unit, then she would be bonkers. One thing for sure though, she has amazing art, probably the best art in the game in my opinion. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.